context what I'm going to say about my particular relationship to people and how I want to serve people, the natural way for me to serve people. So what will be the character of happens here? What happens here, God willing, doesn't have to be what happens every place else where anybody has something to do with me. I'm not looking for, number one, I have no interest in anybody following me. I'm not a person that anybody wants to follow. I say right up front, don't follow me. Because basically nobody can, no, I don't want anybody to follow me where my vows are taking me. Because I actually made a vow when I was a child. And if people follow me, then my vow won't be effective. Because my vow is to stay here until everybody else is gone. So a master like Srila Prabhupada says, come and follow me. Someone like myself says, don't follow me, go follow him. So I'm here to say to Catholics, go follow your saints. I'm here to say the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, follow Prabhupada. I'm here to say, don't follow that guy, do follow this guy. Don't follow her, do follow her. If you follow her, this is where she's going to take you. If you follow her, this is where she's going to take you. Because not everybody's taking everybody the same place, either in this life or the next. And let's just forget about the afterlife. Let's forget about God and the afterlife, any future. Let's just look at this life right now. If you follow these people, this is where they're going to take you in this life. If you follow those people, that's where they're going to take you in this life. So we can just boil it right down to pragmatics and authenticity. So that's where I've set my face like flint or adamant, hard as stone against certain people and certain teachings in this world, because I have had vast experience on where those teachings ultimately take people. So, if I oppose a person who is, representing certain teachings, or I oppose a kind of teaching, it's because I've seen the result, the end result of those teachings or that person's leadership. So anyway, in terms of my own service, I'm not somebody that I want anybody to follow. My service to others is to provide them with information and inspiration to go do what God has created them to do. Not to join some camp that I'm creating and imitate me. So, I mentioned Sakiras. Sakiras is love that's characterized by friendship or pure relationship, equal relationship. So, in life, it's like a dharma door, in one sense that certain personalities are attracted to certain flavors of love. Rasa is a flavor of love. So you might say, well, Baskin-Robbins has 38 flavors or whatever. It's all ice cream, but they're really different from each other. So love is love, but it has very different flavors. Now, are you familiar with C.S. Lewis's book, The Four Loves? Mm-hmm. Okay, so with the Greeks, we look at Greek philosophy, and we look at how Plato, the discourse on love in Plato, and Socrates taught, his Goswamini, his female guru, taught Socrates about love, some important things about love. So, if we look at the four loves that were described by the Greeks, if we go over to the Vaishnava tradition, there are 5 basic loves, and then an infinite variety of combinations of those loves. Now, some of those combinations are what's called rasabas, which means literally bad taste. And in our society, we would think of those as perversions. So, for instance, if you add the conjugal mood of love to a parent-child relationship, where the parent-child relationship is the dominant relationship, and then you add an element of conjugal to it, that's pedophilia, that's perverse, that's perversity. So there's all kinds of combinations of the basic 5 loves, which are completely rasabas, completely what they call, Prabhupada translates as perverted mellows or perverted flavors. Literally distasteful, bad taste, rasabas. But there are tasteful, it's just like cooking, tasteful combinations of the different rasas. And the science of rasa in Vaishnavism is so highly developed. I doubt if there's ever been anything in the history of the world that's developed that science of flavors of love to the degree that the Vaishnava masters have. It's just astonishing. So, now give you just really brief description. I mentioned that the first and least intimate level of love, or flavor of love, is Shantaras. And Shanta is a kind of neutrality. It's got awe and reverence in it. And so you could and there's no personal relationship there at all. So this is one example that has been given, used quite a bit. In a kingdom, the citizen may be aware of the king and the queen and may feel some admiration or some affection for the king and the queen as benevolent figures, respectable figures. There may be some sense of awe and reverence there, but there's actually no real personal relationship. Now, in one sense, the citizen is experiencing the love of the king and queen, because the citizen could even be employed in the civil service somewhere, but the life of the citizen, the peace that the citizen enjoys, and the availability of food and infrastructure, fresh water, safe water, in schools, education for their children, all of these different positive things that the person feels that are emanating from the king and queen's love and concern for their citizens might increase the sense of awe and reverence and affection and admiration that the person in Shantaras has for God. Now, one of the accusations of the spiritually proud, puffed up Vaishnavas against Christianity or Judaism, these other traditions, is that they never get beyond Shantaras. The average person is just, thinking, oh, God is great. God provides all this stuff. And hardly has developed any actual awe and reverence or appreciation for a loving God who provides everyday miracles. So the Vaishnavas in general have a very low opinion of Christianity or Judaism or Islam, the so-called Abrahamic religions, because they say, well, they never go beyond just even the most rudimentary kind of Shantaras. So